Hello and welcome to the Fire Chief's video message for August 2022. We're definitely in August. It is summertime in Washington, D.C. area. We are seeing some really high heat indexes, and joining me this month in the cool Station 32 is Chief Blake. How are you doing, Jay?
Good, Chief.
So we've got a lot of things going on. You're busy. Talk about hiring, talk about the application period.
Sure. So we're in the application period for recruit class 53, which makes everyone feel old. We extended that to the month of, for the month of August, going to close on August 31st. Reason being, we really want to recruit heavily at the county fair and some other events that were going on almost every weekend in August. So it's going to be a good opportunity to recruit in the community.
And there's been definitely a debate, there's a continuous debate about having a continuous open application versus open period. So we were open all the month of July, and now we've opened it through the month of August, as you just said. One of the things with that open for a period is you know when the test will be occurring after that, so you can kind of lay out what the next steps will be for the person you're talking to, right?
Yeah, so we just contact the testing vendor and we can slide that that entrance exam a week or two past. Again, the entrance exam has gone online, so that helps us in recruiting people that may be still in the military or in outlying areas and stuff. So that's recruit class 53. 51 is in the can. Final offers have gone out. People are going to medical. People are going to property.
Start September 12th.
September 12th is the start date for recruit class 51. Recruit class 52, we finished CPAT in July. Many of those people are in background right now. Most of the people that passed CPAT in April and May I have met with their background investigators. Conditional offers for 52 are going out, and then those background investigators are working on backgrounds for those that pass CPAT in June and July.
Right. So definitely a lot going on there. So 52 is slated for the beginning of January.
Yes, sir.
To start. So that's the cycle for the academy this year, both September and then January again. And like you said, the applications are open for what we will know as RC 53, which is intended to be next July, right?
It could be next July, it could be a little later. We're waiting to hear from the academy on what's the best time, because then we'll already be in the planning stage for RC 54. Right. So will they overlap? Will they not overlap? So, but definitely July or later of 2023.
Good deal. Anything else on recruiting or hiring?
So we are probably going to start bringing back ride-alongs for those prospective candidates. I'm working with operations right now on a plan, but I'd like to put on social media. A lot of people apply and don't know about the job. Who else is better teach them about the job and the future that fire rescue can offer for them than those people who are already work for us. Like I say, I think we have 1,600 recruiters in the organization, so everybody could be bringing people to the application process.
Absolutely. So yep, that's work in progress. We're still in COVID. We're still in the endemic. I'm not calling it a pandemic anymore. And that's a dialogue as we talk about the fair. We talk about open houses and public outreach in October. We're talking about the ride-alongs and how we can continue that with safety protocols and approaches to it. So soon to see, hopefully, some ride-alongs with us. Absolutely, good deal. Other stuff in the recruiting and the hiring process?
Well, last night we went to National Night Out. When this is being filmed, last night we went to National Night Out. Huge turnout in the community. We had community outreach at almost every event. Fire rescue people on detail with apparatus. Great turnout.
Right. So that was definitely, it's basically a 5-hour community engagement activity. Some parts it starts at 4. Some parts it goes until 9 o'clock, and indeed throughout the county places that we were able to stop at, people were happy to see the apparatus and great to see that and be able to be back in touch with the kids, the community, the parents, And my shout out to everybody who was out last night at National Night Out or NNO for 2022. So when we were out and about, there was people looking at apparatus, so a lot of things on the apparatus front.
Yeah, a lot of new apparatus coming in. What's our first arrival?
Well, you talk of rivals, so they have arrived. So this picture here is a picture of Tower 719, as it was on the CMF campus at the beginning of this week. The other one is down at the First Due Solutions getting tool mounting. These are the first two of the midships. We haven't talked about them here recently because there was some continual assessment. These are 5 of these are in production. The first 2 are here. The other 3 are being built as we speak. This is an intended replacement to 1935, 18, 24, and a to be determined 2016 model. So these are pretty unique. When the first one came in, there was a test fit done at 35 and at 24. At 35, it fits. We tested Tower 51, which is a similar model, same Pierce Ascendant midship, but a little bit different configuration. That did not fit. These do. So when we tested at 35, it fit. We tested it at 24, it fit, but it doesn't fit. 24 has a clearance of less than 11 feet. In the station. For those that are in the 1st Battalion, you clearly know that the parking of the current midships there is quite unique. Drives in the front door, faces out the rear door, and that's the only way and means it can fit. And only those 2 trucks fit at 24. I made the very purposeful and direct and deliberate decision to the apparatus committee that we were not making a one-off truck to fit at 24, because that would perpetuate the problem we have with only, in the future, about a year from now, only 1 truck that fits in that station. We were going to make 5 of these midships to the desires we wanted, as low as we could by design and engineering, but we were not going to make a one-off that was extra short, shall we say, to fit in at 24. And lo and behold, it fits, but it's not going to go to 24. That's the brass tacks. The safety issues at hand. It's not going to go to 24. Where is it going to go? Still work to be done on that point. So there's a work test fitting that's going to occur this week, as the week that we're videotaping this on the August the 3rd. There will Tower 19, physically that new model, will be doing a confirmation fit at several stations. And that information will be provided back to Chief Bailey, myself, and other senior staff. And then we will make a final decision as to where that model, that midship truck will go. So to be determined. But what's different about these midships? You've looked at the midship a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the profile, the midship in regards to how we're going to train with it and operate it could change our apparatus positioning on the fire ground. Yeah, very unique, different for us. We haven't, we're a tiller truck, tower ladder, rear mount yeah, department. So yeah, it's gonna be new, interesting, probably exciting. I think we're gonna get more flexibility on the fire ground with the midship.
Well said. So this is not a aerial scope. This is not a Seagrave style midship. The scrub angle on these is the aerial retracts actually past the turntable, and it's very low to the ground scrub angle. Its ground clearance is higher, roughly about 4 or so inches of better ground clearance than the other towers, and that was critical in design. These do have all steer. That was one of the features that led to the height of this truck being right at about 11 feet tall. That all steer will provide additional maneuverability. As I also said, it does provide additional ground clearance. These vehicles are about 4.5 feet shorter than the 2008 version rear mounts. And again, they're right at 11 foot. So the 16 rear mounts were almost 12.5 feet tall, and these are almost a full 1.5 feet shorter. So I think we're going to see great functionality out of them. The training package for these two will start up shortly. And like I said, one's on campus today, and the other one is going to be back in the area pretty soon. So really interesting. The other three are in production. That final inspection schedule keeps sliding a little bit, so I'm going to say October-ish. It may even be late October before they get the other three inspected in one trip. But so yeah, probably by the end of the year, the other three will be in-house and beginning to go in service. There was a lot of hubbub on these trucks when they first got around here because there was a little graphics problem. Did you hear anything about that?
No, I didn't. You know, I'm sitting up there at headquarters. I don't get too many of the rumors out on the streets.
So, in several production products that were put out there by the vendor and the manufacturer, there were misapplied American flags on these rigs. As this one picture shows, the back of Tower 18, the numbers were originally on the corner and the flag was originally on the flat of the bucket. And the committee wanted to move those numbers to the flat of the bucket, which then moved the flag. And as you see on the Tower 19 picture here, it was adjusted. And then when you fly an American flag on, I'm going to say the officer side of the vehicle, right, it needs to fly in reverse. So when the vehicle's in motion. So the flags were put on backwards by the vendor, and they were used in some production pictures with these flags in the inaccurate or wrong application. So that's been corrected. As you see here, this picture of Tower 19 shows the driver's side applied right. So things happen. There's always little idiosyncrasies in vehicle production as well as graphics that happens. So, but these towers are here and going to be great improvements to the organization.
Excellent.
We got a new rescue engine 714. We were talking right before that.
Right.
What do you think about that?
So that's great. So that's going to be all in one, right? To replace the aging rescue engine from Station 14, right?
Well, as a matter of fact, the rescue engine has gone away a few months ago. So for the last practically 25 years, a little over 20 years, the Station 14 had an engine, a Crimson still, or a Spartan still today, and they had their original original rescue engine. And that rescue engine was a 99 model, and we've been working for more than a minute on a two-part plan. And yes, the crew was out in Wisconsin just about 2 weeks ago looking at this rescue engine that you see here on the blue floor. From a quick look, you look at this and you think it's a regular Pierce, one of our 2019s. But practically it's about 2 feet longer. The wheelbase is about 2 feet longer, which means it's got more compartment space. Notice that it's got a rescue style body. It's got high side compartments on both sides. For the additional compartments needed for the rescue equipment. Still carrying its 750-gallon tank. The rear picture here shows it's about 8 or 9 inches taller on the rear hose bed, and then the 2019 Pierces had very low hose beds. What we have accommodated here is 3 hard sleeves and compartment box for the ladders to slide into. That draws that hose bed up about, like I said, 8 or 9 inches. But because the body's longer, still has the same hose capacity, 2,000 feet of 4-inch, the same hose line for hand lines as well as 3-inch as the Pierces do. So it's about the size of a Spartan, looks like a Pierce, is a Pierce, but it's a little bit bigger, but it's going to be their all-in-one, as you said. And so that's on the way, as we believe, to Maryland as we speak this first week of August.
First week of August, it'll be here. What do you think the timeline will be to put it in service?
Probably at least 30 to 45 days, getting it here, getting it down to first due solutions and getting it some of the mounting done. Obviously, it's going to be a rescue engine, so it's going to be a lot more mounting on it than the other Pierces were. But the other vehicle that has been in service now for a few weeks at Station 14 is this rescue support unit. This GMC or Chevy chassis, heavy-duty pickup truck with a little utility body on the back, because it provides the vehicle extrication equipment in a non-water carrying, non-hose carrying unit, as like a second piece to the Station 14 engine company, because when the rescue engine's out of service, there's a long way up there. It's a good solution. We've been working on it. It took a lot longer than we had anticipated to get in service and to get functional, but as you see in these two pictures, the rescue support unit is there today. The rescue engine, the 99, went out of service a couple weeks back. And the rescue support unit is there in the meantime until the new rescue engine gets in-house.
Yeah, they're out on an island there, so the response time for an extrication vehicle can be lengthy. Yeah. And so it's great to have these two resources there to meet the extrication needs in that community.
And it'll be really great when the new rescue engine gets in. It'll be that all-in-one, and it'll have all the capacities of the Pierce engines do today, and a very well configured and capable vehicle extrication, or initial vehicle extrication capability for the Station 14. Now there's all kinds of other apparatus stuff on the horizons too. People may have seen that new engine 702 is in. That LFRD purchased rig is here and getting ready through its upfitting. New engine 703 is being produced by Seagrave. Rockville is buying, so that's in the frame and body work as we speak. Ambulance contract is being worked on, so the committee met about a month ago to do some discussions on the next batch of ambulances there.
How many ambulances could we see?
I want to say it's usually 10 a year. Okay. On the EMS front. It's usually 3 engines a year, 1 to 2 ladders a year, 10 ambulances, and 1 big square thing. So hazmat or rescue squad. On that rescue squad front, new squad 17 is local. We've talked about it before, but 29 and 3 are in service. New 17 was the last one produced. It's here, it's with us. So it'll be, on the street in Laytonsville here in a little bit. So, but a lot of that is going on at the same time. So
yeah, I worked Battalion 3 recently and stopped by Station 3. They were out training with the new rescue squad. Great layout, a lot of equipment, a lot of resources.
Yeah, so I took a good bit of time one day and walked around with Captain Green with the squad at 29, and it's big. Yes, it is. It's carrying all the tools, and it's one of the components of we don't want to be in that point of, well, if we had X, we could have done this. Right. And indeed, the squads have a lot of capabilities, and they're going almost 100% all battery, which is really a good thing, as well as the means of and what's being done there is amazing going on. Anything else on the apparatus front that you've seen?
No, I mean, you mentioned hazmat, so, it'd be nice to get a new hazmat unit, but,
So that discussion is in the work. The Tech Rescue Committee, or Tech Rescue Vehicle, they were recently down in Florida talking to and doing the engineering with the vendor on the new Tech Rescue replacement. So that'll be a tractor trailer style body with a cab and with a trailer with roll-up doors. So that's in the works. And yes, there's been discussions about the new hazmat, so that's also on the horizon. Great. A lot of staff vehicles being changed. You got the new Battalion 3, new Safety 700 out there on the street. And we're still working through a bunch of other vehicle additions on the staff side. So a lot going on. What about thanks? What's going on in the great work across the community? We talked about National Night Out.
Yeah, so a lot of public outreach, and we're doing a whole bunch of after the fires recently. We're out there in the community. Really, no matter how small the fire was, we're trying to get out there and speak to the community, tell them, what occurred, and how important it is to have a working smoke detector, and many of these were either unattended smoking or cooking.
Like 2 in the same shift that were discarded smoking materials, and that's absolutely a preventable ignition source.
Yeah.
And but that's a great opportunity to do the after the fire engagement, get out there and help those folks understand what happened to their neighbor, as well as what they can do to help themselves in their home environment and their safety activities. On the thanks, as we started off this program, it's hazy, it's hot, it's humid. What about CERT 700, and what have they been doing for us here in the last couple weeks?
So they've been engaging a lot at events. I see them out on the road. I see them at headquarters a lot, loading, stocking up the vehicle, and they're engaging in the community, whenever they're asked to.
Yep. So we're asking them to help man the rehab unit by title. So CERT 700, they have acquired, and we have upfitted / marked up a former ambulance for their vehicle, because they're very uniquely capable to help us in some, I'm going to use the word wide area activities when we need to go through in a 15-story apartment building and help resettle those residents back in the building. That's a thing that the CERT Go team can do. When we need to do a canvassing of neighborhoods, that's where CERT can absolutely get into. Not an emergency response, but an emergent response. CERT can help us. So CERT 700 has been in the works in a while. We did a RBOC, so we did a routine driving training class for some of their folks that the Academy developed, and took the EVOC away and put the R in front of it, so that we had some people who were trained to drive an ambulance that never had driven more than a Toyota.
Yeah, large vehicle, higher profile, exactly. A lot of different switches and buttons. I get it.
So CERT 700 had gotten functional and ready to go, and then the summertime came upon us, and the idea was ask the CERT to staff it with 2 folks during that 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. time frame on these days where we're going to see that heat and the humidity to that certain threshold point. So Chief Kelly, Chief Bailey, and the duty chiefs are coordinating that, scheduling a couple of days ahead of time. And absolutely, they're not replacing the canteens. They're not bringing the supply of food and water. They're bringing the mister, they're bringing the shelter, they're bringing very initial onset, bottled of water to the scene and assisting. So my great shout out to the folks from CERT, Greg St. James and all of his folks for their great help. They'll be out there this week. And as we deal with our heat and humidity here, it's absolutely a valuable resource, and I appreciate it. So anything else in the thanks?
Just, the fair starts August 12th through the 20th.
That's 10 days of the summer, as they outlined.
Chief Browning's brand new in his position, so let's hand him the fair, and he's doing a great job. We're going to have our community outreach. Like I said, we're going to be recruiting there, and then there'll be, some apparatus details. I'm not sure about operations, how though, but we'll all be engaged at some level at the fair.
No worries, and anybody who wants to go, Ivan and Doug, as well as Chief McDonald, they definitely have a mechanism to ask folks who from the volunteers who want to come up and staff the carts, from the LFRDs that want to bring apparatus up on their night or have a focused participation on a certain night. Absolutely, we have a two-part role there. We have both the outreach education role, but we also have the health and safety role for the attendance, as the fair is not with that large gathering, we can't react to an incident from Russell Avenue and Station 8. We need to be on site to be able to deal with both medical emergencies and any fire-based activities that happen. So that's why we have resources there practically from 10 a.m. until midnight, all 10 days, as the fair is a big event in the community, and been good events in the last couple of years, and hopefully this year with the weather being good and activities, it'll probably be another highly attended activity. So
it usually is.
It is. So I appreciate. Anything else to add, Jay, before we wrap up?
Oh, can't wait till Pete gets back.
So no worries, no worries. You're a good proxy for Pete, and since we were talking about recruiting and hiring, you filled the role better than Pete could. So till next month in September, again, if you got folks who are interested, as all of you are great recruiters like Jay said, tell the folks to go to the website, mcfrs.org/recruiting. Get that information open throughout the entire month of August, so almost another 27 days to go, based upon this being the 3rd. Have the folks fill out the application, get interested, ride-alongs are coming. It's hazy and hot out there. Come to work, come to your duty night prepared, hydrated, ready to engage, take care of each other, train, as well as be ready to answer that 911 call. So take care and be safe.